Alrighty then. Welcome back to Tim's IT Straight Talk. Got a YouTube commenter request, and that's what this is. Thank you. Please, everybody, comment all you want. I value your feedback, and obviously your feedback shapes the content of this series, so there you have it. This is about improve your vocabulary and diction. Why? Why should you care? Regardless of your industry, but particularly if you're in the IT industry, because that's what this is all about. I think you know how important the so-called soft skills are, even if you're a developer who's siloed physically and in their workload where you don't deal with people, you deal with people eventually. You've got to speak and you've got to write. So I'm making the case that given the importance of good communication skills in your career, you naturally want to improve, make your vocabulary more, I don't know, what's your goal? Actually, that would be my biggest question. If you're wondering, I wonder if I should or if I want to improve my vocabulary. Why? What's your motive? Is it to sound smart? I wouldn't recommend that. I don't think it's a sustainable strategy. Do you love words? Then you're probably not asking the question because you're already a word nerd and you read the dictionary like I do. Because you want to improve your career. There's a good reason. So how do you improve your vocab? How do you improve your diction? Your diction, I'm thinking of pronunciation, how you pronounce words. I want to start with diction, actually. And this is a near and dear subject to me because as a technical trainer, when I'm teaching students on a particular product or technology, whatever it might be, I assume that my learners are looking at me as an authority on that subject. And so I don't take that responsibility lightly. So even something as seemingly unimportant as pronunciation is really important. I'm trying to think of what's the last time I had an issue about pronunciation. Recently, I had an issue where I was going to mention a particular open source. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But it's a word that when you look at it, you're not exactly sure how to pronounce it. And unless you've heard a whole bunch of people pronounce it already, you'd have no idea. And that was the case with this particular word. So number one, my advice for improving diction is develop a genuine awareness and interest in pronunciation and diction and its importance to your message. Like I said, I don't want to teach on a subject and mispronounce the name. I have to tell you, I listen to a lot of podcasts. And not too long ago, I started a new podcast series. I'm into true crime podcasts. And she pronounced the suspect's maiden name incorrectly. Her name is Nancy Crampton Brophy. And this particular podcaster called her Nancy Cranston Brophy. And not only did she do that once, she did it many times. Every time she'd talk about Miss Brophy, she'd pronounce her full name. And I dipped out. I was like, you lost source credibility here because you're doubling down on what could be an innocent mispronunciation error. I need attention to detail. Sorry. And I try to pay as much attention to detail as possible when I'm talking, presenting, or communicating in any way. So how the heck do I get there? Or how did I solve this recent problem that I talked about with this tech that I wasn't sure how to pronounce it? You know what I've been doing most recently is turning to my good old friend ChatGPT. Because I have a ChatGPT session up on whatever device I'm on, I will simply ask in my prompt, please give me a phonetic pronunciation of this word. How is this word most commonly pronounced? Give me the phonetic. Nowadays, with ChatGPT, if you've got the latest features turned on, which I do, I can do voice chat with ChatGPT. So we don't have to worry about phonetic pronunciation spelled out. We can just do a voice chat and the AI voice will give me. Now, is it always correct? No. So I often tell students with AI, trust but verify. In fact, that happened recently again. I had asked it to give me what it thought was the most common pronunciation. And it turns out it wasn't. It was a valid pronunciation of the word, but it wasn't the most common. If I want to build my source credibility talking about technology widgetware, I better not be calling it Ouijaware. You know, that's going to immediately catch some people's attention and be an immediate turnoff. Others may not notice, true, but I notice. Or when I learn afterwards, I'm mortified. So awareness, getting help with phonetics, Google, if you do Google searches, there's oftentimes an AI voice that can help you there. YouTube, plenty of people make their bank by posting these 3 to 5 second YouTube clips of how to pronounce such and so word in such and so language. You know, there's a market for this stuff. Now, with regard to improving vocab, that's going to require potentially more work. If you're already a recreational reader, then again, you're probably not asking the question because your vocab is probably just fine. But I would encourage you to read more, and not just read more within your domain, although that's important, but read for fun. Book, novels, magazines, historical fiction, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. But because I've read for hours just about every day of my 53 years of life, that is, once I learned to read. My mom said I was an early reader too. I'm picking up new words. If I don't recognize a word, I might let it slip and then it'll come back and I'll notice it again. Hyper-awareness. I'll take the time to look up the word and I'll sometimes start to go down a rabbit hole and learn the word's etymology and examples. A way for me to lock in a new word is to use it. Is number one, to have the word catch my attention enough to where I get some interest in it. And then I'll look it up. And like I said, I'll look at its etymology and its history and I'll think, oh, it's interesting. And then I'll normally ping pong it and use the word a few times in conversation, written and or spoken. Now, if you're talking about how to improve your business vocabulary, I would start by doing some targeted Google searches on the most important terms in business, the most important terms in IT, the most important terms in software development, and just get those words floating in your brain. And then any that really stand out, go the next step, get a definition, and then here's the important piece. Force yourself to use the word. I mean, I don't have a recommendation about the number of times. If it's a more common word, then it stands to reason you'll be using it more in the wild. But use it. Think of a way to incorporate it into an email message at work or during a Zoom or Teams call or in person. Personal or business context. I mean, it's funny. you know, you're bound to have some awkward occurrences where you say to somebody outside of business, you're at a spa or something, and you talk about synergy or some business buzzword. They'll be like, huh? You know, that's bound to happen. Lean into it. Lean into the awkwardness and laugh, because sound like some kind of self-improvement person here. I am, I guess. I mean, I'm committed to self-improvement. But no, it's true. Laughter being the best medicine. Whatever. I believe it. I live it. So there you have it. There's some tips. Admittedly, I'm not really proud of the flow of this lesson, but it's going to go out just like all the other ones. It's a little bit herky-jerky and all over there for my taste. But I think you see that both for building vocab and building your enunciation, your diction, your pronunciation involves, again, that most important step of self-awareness and interest. And then practical application, taking the words, taking these diction tips and getting practice by using them. Frankly, maybe even when you're sitting alone, chat with an AI and use it. Seriously, why not? Why the heck not? If it works, it works. And that's all I have to say about that. Okay, see ya. Thank you.